Here we're going to tie a fly called the Gangster crab. It is a redfish or a snook fly. It's kind of a mix between a quan and a crab. First thing we're going to do is just add some large gold bead chain eyes. If you want to tie this fly heavier, you can add some dumbbell eyes. After we have those nice and secure, we're going to take our thread all the way back here to the bend. And I'm now going to take some orange cactus or ice chenille. This is cactus chenille right here. We're going to tie just a little ways down the bend, and then I'll bring my thread forward. Then we're going to take that cactus chenille. We're just going to wrap a little hot spot kind of at the back of the fly. Then I can capture and secure that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of UV polar chenille in pearl. We're going to tie that in. And we're going to take this polar chenille, and we want all these fibers to lay back onto the fly. So I'm just going to take a couple of wraps with UV polar chenille. Then I can capture it. I want to pull all the material back. I'm going to wrap back up onto it. Forcing it all to lay down. Then I'm going to trim it so it's all equal length. I'm going to trim it just about the length of the shank of the hook. Now I'm going to take a couple of little crab shrimp eyes that I've made up. We're going to tie these in right on the side of the shank. I can trim out the excess. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tie in the tail. For the tail, I'm just going to use some tan or sand colored craft fur. We're going to make the tail nice and long here, and then we'll trim it once we got it tied in. I'm just going to tie this in right on top of the shank of the hook. Then I'll wrap forward. What this is going to do is just give me a nice, clean, even, smooth body. I can cover all that up and trim it. Then I'll trim my tail to length. I want it to be about 3 times the length of the shank of the hook. Now we're ready for a little bit of hackle, just a little webby collar. And you can do this either before or after the tail. I usually do it after. Make Make sure it's nice and secure. And I'm just going to take a couple of turns with this hackle. Each wrap, I'll just kind of pull those fibers back. That should be enough. I can capture it. Now I'm just going to pull it all back. I'm just going to put a couple of wraps right up onto it. So help it kind of lay back. Just make sure I have a nice clean body here to finish up the next few steps. That's going to be some EP fiber and some sand color. Just going to cut it into little 2 or 3 inch chunks. Tie it in right in the middle of the shank of the hook. I just repeat this process until I get to the front of the shank. Usually takes about 5 or 6 clumps. I usually like to go all the way up to the eyes. Once you get all the way to the front, a few turns with your whip finish. Try not to get any of the EP fibers caught. And the last thing to do is we want to trim all of our EP fiber. So I try to draw it all together, separate it from the tail. If you have a few stray fibers, we can trim those after the fact. Just try to get the majority of it here. I usually like to trim at an upward angle, and I'll kind of round the body as I get towards the back. Then you can split the fibers, pull them to each side. Just like so. And if you have any trapped little fibers, you can trim those out of there. They tend to just blend into the tail a lot of the time, so it's not a huge deal. Now the last thing to do is to take a marker, just get on our tail here and put a couple of stripes on it. I like to use brown, but you can use black, you can even use orange and bright colors. Brown's a pretty natural color. And you do 3 or 4 of these little stripes. Then if you like, you can also marker up the body a little bit if you want. Add a little bit of kind of modeling to the front, to the top. Kind of dirty it up a little bit. Just makes it look a little more crabby. Just like so. But you can find all the materials for this fly along with recipe information at intheriffle.com.